Hello campers, I'm Lester. No, I am not a city, that's my name. If you're enjoying the music that you're hearing, that's good, because I was the one that made it. Check out my music on SoundCloud, if you feel like it. Shameless plug over. Without further delay, I'm here at gunpoint to introduce this week's Benny Shakes Things Up. Without further ado, here's Benny.
Hello.
All right, how's it going?
I'm all right. Are you missing me?
Oh, like a hole in the head.
Well, you got me for a weekend.
I know. Well, luckily for one night, so I mean that's good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I've got my own little one-man tent, and you're in a hotel because you're so bloody posh.
Only for one night.
Are you camping out on a Saturday night then?
I'm camping out on the Thursday night, having a rest, and then I'm coming back on the Saturday.
So you can help me set up my tent.
No. I'm the one with the video camera.
Oh, yeah, you will be, yeah. So I did film myself trying to set up my tent, and so that will be on Two Crips, One Cam and YouTube at some point, so you can see how I got on with that. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this show. It should be a good show, shouldn't it?
Yeah, because it's all about advocacy. I mean, a lot of disabled people and non-disabled people have to have people to advocate for them, because let's face it, if you go to the council or a hospital appointment and you do it yourself, 9 out of 10 people ignore you. But if you take someone with you, then it's like you're ganging up on them. So,
well, do you know what? It's very interesting. Just a very quick plug. That One Place East that sponsors Laugh Able, they provide advocacy as well. They actually have helped my brother at the job centre because they were trying to mess him about. So it's really, I think advocacy projects are so important, and hopefully we'll go into this more about why that is.
Yeah. Yeah, should we bring them on?
Let's do it.
Too much. We got
Serena. Hello.
Audra, and let me move in down there, me down there. There we go.
It's better.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Benny Shakes Things Up with me and him. So,
He pointed the wrong way. If you're going to do it. I pointed the wrong way. This is like.
Would you go in your own place? That's better.
It's all right. It's covering your name, so I'm pretty happy with that.
It's fine. It's fine.
At least we know they have a certain side of the bed.
Oh, Benny's totally the big spoon, like I will admit.
Well, we're not going to go there anyway.
No, we won't. That's another conversation for another time.
Before we get started, because this is a disability show, a podcast all about disabled artists. So we've got one disabled person. So Audra, would you like to tell us what your disability is?
All right, get ready, because we got about a 5-minute conversation.
I'm timing it, you know.
I know.
Yes.
So I'm autistic, epilepsy, dyslexic, dyspraxic, depression, anxiety, restless leg syndrome, and Raynaud's.
What's the last one?
Raynaud's phenomenon is where I actually lose feeling and like pressure in my fingers and my feet, and they get super cold and will turn white.
Yay, join the club. I'm
Oh,
exactly the same. Yeah.
See?
Wow.
Yeah. Cool. So, because we've got you both on, we've got one Serena from the UK, Nottingham, my neck of the woods, and Audra from America, and you both are advocates. But just tell us, Serena, briefly what is SEA stand for?
Yeah, I love our acronym. It's so cool. So C stands for Services for Empowerment and Advocacy, because that's basically what we do as an organisation. So we're an independent advocacy service and we're a charity as well. And we help people get their voices heard within housing, health and social care. You know, like, we've had conversations before, Benny, where, it's really important for people to be able to have their voice heard. The massive detrimental effects that has on an individual when they don't get their voices heard is, it can be, down to confidence, mental health issues, and like even not getting the basic needs met if people's voices aren't heard. So I think the work that we do is really, really important.
Yeah, I mean, they've helped me in the past years ago with housing benefits letters. Before I knew I could pay for my own support, I had to go with a charity like yours. And yeah, thank you for being there.
So, Serena, what's your particular role? Like, what's your role in this organisation?
Yeah, well, I've kind of climbed up the steps, so to speak. So I started off as advocacy and participation worker 4 years ago at C, and now I'm service manager. I'm one of the service managers at C, and I'm business and development. That's kind of my area. So shouting about C, loud and proud about kind of what we do. We've been around for 13 years as well, which I didn't say before. So we're quite well established. We've been around for a long time. So, my role is about getting C out there, finding funding opportunities available to us, building those really important relationships with other like-minded organisations, and just growing on what we've already got. So that's kind of what my role is.
Cool. And before we go to Audra's company, you're independent, aren't you?
Yes,
The government doesn't pull your
No, we're not. I promise you, there's no strings, look. There's no strings, I promise. Yes, we're independent. For us, I mean, we go by the advocacy charter in the UK. So, independence is a massive thing in that, because we want people that come to us to know that we're for them and nobody else can influence how we support them. So, really important.
Cool. And Audra, all the way in America, I forgot where you live. I should know that by now, but I forgot. What is your company called? And where are you from? Because I forgot.
I know. So I'm actually in Seattle, Washington. Our abbreviation is actually SEA, so that actually is a coincidence. So I have two companies that I have. One's a nonprofit, and it's called Washington Faith Defense League, and we have a education system here and a law that says that children are allowed to have a free and appropriate education. And so basically what my nonprofit does is go around to the different schools and helps different children and families provide law services or special ed education law services, that if a school district or something is not happening or something's being violated, we help them.
Mm.
And then my other business is my private practice, which is my therapy business.
Ooh.
Yeah, and you specialize in autistic therapy, don't you?
Yes, autistic therapies. And I mean, with autistic people, and my age ranges are from about 8 years old to 21, or that graduating age, because I love to help with transition into adulthood, because
Yeah.
that's where the most needed services are.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the same. It's the same in this country as well.
Yeah,
It really is.
after 25, you're on your own. Forget it, mate.
Yeah, no, yeah. So we the law in this country is that you're entitled to a full-time education and training if you're special needs until, if you've got like an educational healthcare plan, until you're 25. After that, yeah, Benny's right.
You're on your own, and this is where Serena
Comes in.
the
Yeah.
nest, not the nest. Well,
Well,
that's what the government has done.
Yeah, I think you will find that the people that we support and work with have kind of been in the, for want of a better word, the system, you know, for a long time. And you know, it's like what you said, Benny. They kind of, you know, they've come to a point where they've like, oh, I had all this support and now I haven't got anything, and it's shocking, you know, to have everything and then go from that to nothing. You know, it needs a transition. You're absolutely right. And you know, having the right medium to work with those young people is really, really important, and something that I'm super interested in with C, because we work with a lot of, I say adults, so you know, the like, you know, your 30 pluses kind of thing. I would love, there's a gap in the market, surely, in the UK to work.
I think you and Audra should have a private meeting. And
I know, right?
She
Pick
might
your brains, Audra.
ideas, and you might see. I'm your agent.
Look
You're
what
the
you're doing.
weaver.
You're just
You're the
like,
weaver.
yeah, weaver.
Because it's the exact opposite here in America, where we don't really have the independent contractors or brokers or companies. That's why I have my private business to do that. Unfortunately, people here pay out of their pockets for that. So the people who do get the transition service, if they qualify, as if, it's ran by the government, and it's terrible.
Can imagine.
Yeah.
So what does?
Go
I just wanted to sort of ask. I mean, obviously, the term advocacy is branded about a lot, and maybe some people won't know what advocacy means. So maybe each of you, it's up to you who goes first. Just you know, a brief statement about what you think advocacy means.
Yeah, I can go. Happy to do that. So advocacy is really about kind of taking action to help people kind of say what they want, secure their rights, secure their interests, and obtain the services that they really need. That's what advocacy is about. And you know, another thing to say massively about the way we work, if nothing else kind of comes kind of sticks with people about advocacy, it's about this one thing is really important, that it is about that person. It is so set person-centered approach. It's not about what that person thinks. It's not about what that other person thinks, what the mum thinks, or anything like that. It's about what that individual wants. And you know, and that is something that it's really hard to kind of hammer home, that actually we don't need all the background and information. It's however that person presents on that day, and whatever that issue is prevalent to them at that particular time. That's the key aspect of advocacy.
What about you, Audra?
I was just going to say basically the same thing, just, standing up to help, either your voice or somebody else's voice get heard, and maybe making a change somewhere, I guess, just to add to on top of what, Serena said. I think that advocate work is, people see it a lot in the media now, and they think that you have to be this big special person, or that you have to be in the news or on TV, and that's absolutely not true. Advocate work can be as small as going to your local store to just throw in your recycling, to like you said, sitting on the Capitol and rallying to protest something. So I think it's really important for everybody to understand that even though I do identify as an advocate and do work as an advocate, it doesn't mean that, my neighbor can't be one too.
But no, go on, Benny. You first. Sorry.
I think you've totally spot on, because before, when the pandemic hit, me and Mark had a meeting and went, shit, what are we gonna do? We've got all these disabled comedians who are panicking. Let's make the first forum for disabled comedians. So in a way, don't get a big head, Mark, but in a way, we're advocates. And look, see what I mean?
I mean, in all fairness, my disability night is sponsored by an advocacy project, so yeah, I'm just gonna actually, what I want to say as well, just like. So I say my disability night, Laugh Able, which Audra will be appearing on soon, is actually sponsored by an organisation called One Place East in the London Borough of Redbridge, and I've seen examples of the advocacy work they do. For instance, my brother, when he was signed on, he's got autism, as like me, and when he was signed on, the job centre was taking the mick out of him, sanctioning him for missing a job centre interview, even though he had an actual work interview, and he told them about it, but they were trying to exploit that. And so what he did, he brought an advocate along from One Place East, and they weren't there speaking for him, they were just there to help empower him. And the fact when the fact of them being there, suddenly the job centre person changed their tune, was overly nice to him. Oh, what support can I give for you? What? And then the advocate was like, so Lee, do you feel like they're actually supporting you? And like, well, I don't know because of this. So actually what you need to do is this to help Lee. This is what he said to me. And all of a sudden the job centre started throwing in lots of support for my brother, and that sanction was reversed. He got his money back. But just having someone there just to empower you, it's not about, as you said, not speaking for you, just being there as your support, being there as a support that you need, because it's a confidence thing as well with a lot of disabled people, because government officials will take the mick out of disabled people. They will take advantage. And that's where advocacy projects are going, no, this person has a voice. I know that's my experience of advocacy.
So it's like there's two sides to that story. It's like amazing that your brother was able to get that support, but at the same time, it's so sad that it took an advocate to actually have to go in for them to take him seriously. And we experience the same thing. So it's not just that particular organisation. We experience it as well, where there was told a different story, and then we get involved, and all of a sudden, all these other options are available, and that should not be the case. It should be exactly the same outcome, really. If they was doing, if the job was, if they're doing the job properly,
they're doing their job.
If they're doing their job, it should be exactly the same outcome. Your brother's advocate should have come in, and they would have been like, "Well, I've explained this to so and so, but I'll explain it to you as well." And that's, but no, because they're trying, like you say, trying to exploit, which is so. Yeah, it's sickening. It really is.
without you guys and your volunteers, which we're gonna ask you about in a minute, but without the volunteers and advocacy, both governments would be in a lot more debt if there weren't television companies like you guys.
Yeah, it's a. Do you agree, Audra? It's a preventative measure. You know, advocacy. It's a massively preventative measure. I've worked with people that have said to me, Serena, do you know, if I get involved, you know, I would have made myself homeless, for example. You know, which would then cost not only her future and whatnot, but a lot of money for the government to then be able to support that person back into a home. You know.
Audra, is your dog in the room?
Yes, she is. I
thought I heard something.
I was
like, I was actually trying to work out with my headphones.
That's not.
Yeah, I thought it was me.
Brilliant.
I was like, what the fuck? Is my computer being possessed?
She's super sleepy. No, I agree. It would be a lot easier to, hey, get some of these guys out here if they know, you know, if they could be part of society, you know, get them working, get them having meaning and purpose in life, even if they're not working or whatever. Just, I think having purpose in life builds confidence and builds happiness, and that's where we get into that mental health, and then it becomes a systemic thing where it again stops homelessness, maybe stops addiction, again we stop that cycle. I work a lot in education, in the advocate work there, and I can't tell you how many times I've been called names, I've been straight lied to. Just this past week was a real rough one because kids started school. So we have something here called the Freedom of Information Act, where I can file a petition and I can request documents. And I can't tell you how many times I run into emails and things that people thought were said behind closed doors, and then I end up reading it, and guess what? Teachers, professionals are exploiting and abusing these kids.
No,
that is
I mean, do you think part of your roles is to like hopefully help these services reform their practices? Like, because as much as you're in there to support and to make sure they're doing the right thing, surely they must have to take a look at themselves sometimes and go, right, we need to reform what we're doing.
Absolutely. You know, Mark, we've worked with people that have actually made massive changes in organizations because sometimes, and let's be honest, not all organizations are malicious. They're not doing it on purpose. They're not all, don't get us wrong, they're not all like that. Sometimes some people are just really blindsided and trying to get on with their job that they don't see that some of the policies or procedures that they're implementing are actually causing, you know, harm, damage, you know, stress, all that kind of stuff, you know. So yes, part of our job is to help reform the actual organisations that the service users or whoever are coming from in the first place. And I've seen that happen with my own eyes. Policies have been introduced, etc. So yes, absolutely.
Do you think advocacy as well is the new way of protesting? Because you don't see it much no more. In the 80s, there were disabled people out of their wheelchairs at the BBC. We can't even bloody do that now. Without
no, they're not allowed to. No, there's all these laws in the UK now that says you can't basically protest.
Do you know why? If you look at a double-decker bus now, you can't get a body underneath. They've made it so you can't get a body underneath a double-decker bus.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then they can't.
Protest. Not
no,
everyone people are though.
But there's obviously there's draconian laws now in this country, well in the UK especially, probably same in the US, that say, well, I don't know how much in the US, but certainly in the UK it's like basically if you're causing a nuisance you're not allowed to do it. Surely the point of a protest is to cause a nuisance so that you get the changes you need. So I think, yeah, Benny's question is quite important. Actually, this is where advocacy definitely comes in. It's almost like the only way you can protest it. It's the only way you can. Fighting the system through advocacy appears to be the only way these days.
Yeah, I mean, our strapline is dialogue, not confrontation. You know, so we understand that. You know, yes, obviously protests and whatnot, which is a lot has been going on lately around. You know what? I don't even want to get into that, but yeah, that's a whole other show.
That's a whole other podcast.
Don't worry, we're bringing it back in the winter.
What's sort of COVID? Oh, don't. Honestly, you don't want to open that box. No. but yeah. So yeah. Our strapline is dialogue, not confrontation. So the way we kind of make a stand and make changes is by opening up a dialogue with people on the same level, going, this is not working, and this is causing this detrimental effect. So yeah, I suppose it is a kind of a new way of protesting. So yeah, I would say so. What do you say, Audra?
I think so, because I do use the term for myself, advocate and activist, interchangeably, because I don't just advocate for autistic people in the disabled community. I'm like one of those who's all around rah, social justice. So I'm out, at the Black Lives Matter protests and, animal rights and human rights. And so I do all of that. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Can we just go back to your volunteers?
Yeah, absolutely. What do you want to know?
Well, like I say, without you guys, the government would be spending a lot more money.
Yeah.
But your charity relies solely on, well, not solely, mainly on your volunteers, and just explain us a bit more about that.
Absolutely. So just so you've got an idea of how our charity works, so we've got paid staff, so we're only a small charity. We do quite a lot, but we're a small organization. We've only got 7 members of staff in our organization, and so the rest of the stuff that we do at universities, when we do workshops and that, massively heavily involve our volunteers. Without our volunteers, our university stuff wouldn't work as effectively, because the stuff that we do at the universities is about the voice of lived experience, and we work very closely with social workers, so on their degree programs. So we kind of go in there in their first year. Well, no, before they start their first year, actually, we've got our volunteers that sit on the panel of their interviews. So they have equals sit next to side by side as lecturers to kind of say whether this person is getting on the course or not. And then on the first year of university, our volunteers are in the classroom doing group work with social workers, answering those really important questions that people want to know when they get out into the field. And then they assess the social workers to make sure they're ready to go into practice. It's literally called readiness for practice. So yes, we do. I put my hands up. We do rely a lot on our volunteers. Say that again. Sorry, Benny.
No, thank you to the volunteers.
Absolutely, and we celebrate 100%. Them.
But I do believe we're going to get them on below the belt in the winter.
Yeah, it will be. I think that our volunteers are great. They're a bit like hesitant with live stuff, but I'm sure we can get some volunteers on when I tell them how amazing and lovely you guys are as well.
But you haven't seen Below the Belt. Then.
Oh, okay. And Below the Belt, I should, clues in the title.
Because Benny's the opposite of lovely when it comes to Below the Belt.
Oh,
but I do know. But it's genuine. No, it's to basically Benny's deliberately harsh on that show. But yeah, sorry.
Below the Belt is a disability awareness game show where we get non-disabled and disabled people on, and we teach them how to be disabled.
Oh,
so
interesting.
we have got a game for you to play in a minute. So.
Oh gosh!
I'm a little bit scared.
It's a lovely game. It's a lovely game.
Okay.
But actually, it falls back into advocacy, putting yourselves into the mindset of a disabled person, and that's why Benny's game show is also a really great thing to do.
Because I won't mention the charity's name, but I used to go around supporting disabled people to employ their own staff on direct payments, and we was getting invited into colleges to teach the nurses and the new social workers what it's like to be disabled. So what you're doing is amazing, taking the new social workers and saying, this is how it is.
Yeah.
Because,
and on that note, Benny, when they go into you, because I think people we train our volunteers around communication and all that kind of stuff. But when they're in the classroom, I'm telling you, they give it to them exactly how it is, which is, there's no filter, there's none of that. It comes out raw. And that's what's great.
On this show.
100%.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen. Yeah.
But if anyone has any questions for Audra and Serena, please post in the comments about their organisations, or if you're a service user that's actually benefited from an organisation like theirs or theirs, please comment. Give us feedback. We want to know more about this. So
before we go into the game, I mean, Audra, I know you're a one-woman show, but have you thought about eventually looking at volunteers, or is it not enough work?
Right now, I actually just in the past 2 weeks have grown my private practice, and I recently just hired 2 contractors. So I do pay them. They are out working, and one is a special ed teacher who is fantastic, does a great work with virtual teaching and more of a neurodiverse style teaching. And then one's a music therapist and takes just kind of another different approach to teaching. My nonprofit has a board already set up, and we have a convention that we are helping to schedule at the end of September. And the convention we are hosting is having lawyers and legislators and congresspeople all over invited from Washington, D.C. Many leaders will be there, and we are going to rewrite and update our Disability Act here and help the children across the nation.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing.
Wow.
Could you just drop your links in the chat, Audra, so people can, because the podcast, when we put it on Podbeam, most of our audience are American. So I can drop the links on Podbeam so you might get some more followers or
Yeah, I have to give a shout out to my volunteers because I mean everyone has been working super hard behind the scenes, getting everything ready and planned. Because it's about finding a venue and getting all the letters out and everything. And a special thanks to April Ferguson. Shout out to our politician who helped organize this.
Fantastic.
Right, we're going to take a break on the questions because the next half we're going to go deeper into lockdown and that. So we'll have some fun first. Right,
Okay.
we have a game called Jamie's Gaming. Now,
Oh, it's James.
Jamie is an AAC. I forgot, Mark. He uses an AAC communication device
Nice.
to talk, and he uses symbols because, like me, he can't read as well as other guys. So, Jamie has come up with some sentences for you guys to guess what they are. Now, the first one, I've made it easy. So,
Okay.
and I bet Mark's forgot what it is. So,
I always do. Please play along at home as well.
yeah. So, the first one, what is he saying?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get this one now.
You get it? What
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
Do you want me? Yeah.
I know this.
What is it?
Sex, drugs, and rock and roll.
Roll, yeah.
Very good. Excellent. I like that one.
We will say hi to other people. What does this one say? I forgot myself. I've totally forgot.
Oh God, so have I, Benny. So this is going to be.
No, I know what it is. And Kate hates it when I say it's a song.
Okay.
And in the 80s, early 90s, on a Saturday afternoon, there was a competition, and it wasn't the theme song, but it was it was before Baywatch, if that helps.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. And I think with my hands like some autistics.
And I think it's a musical as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll give you the first one. We. Something.
Okay. Oh, I think I got it.
Go on.
We will rock you.
Yeah, we will rock you.
We will rock you.
Yeah, I would have never got that.
Wow.
Well done.
I needed the hint though.
Because we hate the government on this show, and we just
sorry. Can I just say? Oh yeah, okay, but I will.
It's not a swear word. It's not a swear word.
Oh my gosh.
What would you like some of the government to do?
Get on their bike.
That's it. Get on your bike.
Get on your bike.
Get on your bike.
Really? Is that what it is?
Is that what that is?
Get on your bike.
Brilliant.
Okay, someone's going to have to explain that phrase to me. What do you mean get on your bike?
Very British phrase.
I'm sorry, Benny. Can I just say yes? Okay, good. We will rock you. It's not the theme tune to Gladiators. Kate is right. We will rock you is not the theme tune to Gladiators.
Hi, Sam. Samantha.
Hiya, Sam. You right?
Hey.
Yeah.
And actually, Kate, I'm glad you're with me because Kate has got a very important question she would like to ask you.
Oh, okay.
And it's a very serious question.
So wait for Kate to comment?
No. I forgot your name, sorry.
Serena.
Serena.
All right.
Very serious question now.
Okay.
What is your favourite biscuit?
It's got to be a chocolate digestive. That's it. That's it for me. Chocolate digestive biscuit. Yeah, that is an important biscuit. That's
a biscuit. You got on your mind.
Oh, that's an important question. Thank you, Kate.
Audra, what is your favourite biscuit?
I had a chocolate digestive for the first time this past week. Wow. So I will actually just go with that one because I don't know anything else. But I see them make I see them made all the time on the show.
I tell you what, when you come over, you've got to try the bourbon biscuit.
Oh, bourbon.
Yeah.
But there's also the chocolate hobnob.
No,
that's
they get in your teeth though.
No, but they're really nice. Oh, yeah.
No, bourbon biscuit.
I was about to say, we'll give Audra a selection of biscuits and she can decide which is her favourite.
Okay.
Give her a choice.
Because we've had the pandemic, how has your company, Serena, coped over the pandemic?
Wow, let's all go back to March 2020 when the world stopped. How bizarre was it, right? So March, no one knew what the hell they was doing. No one knew, the best knew. So everything, and it was surreal at first, wasn't it? Because literally everything just stopped. And everyone was like waiting for something to happen. I don't know what everyone was waiting for. So at that moment in time, I had conversations with the universities. That's when myself and the other service manager were having those really important conversations and saying, basically, how are we going to continue? How are we going to still keep meeting service users' needs? Keep bringing in money. Let's be honest, keep bringing in money. I know it's not a conversation people want to have, but how are we going to survive and, stay afloat and all that kind of stuff? Well, I got to give a shout out to our volunteers. They're all amazing. So, no one knew what the freaking hell Zoom was. No one knew what Zoom was. No one knew what Teams were. And then all of a sudden we was thrown into this virtual world of meetings online and stuff. So we upskilled our volunteers and they were up for it. So that's one of the things that we did, as we worked with our volunteers for them to be able to access, still get in touch, because, as much as they give us so much, don't get me wrong. But equally, what they get from us is that sense of community. Going back to what you said, Audra, about purpose. Not everyone is going to be job ready. And some people are never going to go into the job market. And you know what? That is okay. So what I think plugs that gap of that community and that purpose for some people that aren't just not going to go into work because it just doesn't suit them. So, it was about, how we're going to keep in contact with our volunteers and keep them going and keep their morale up and their spirits lifted. So we made sure we were in regular contact with our volunteers via the phone, that they could contact us, that we're still here. We was in contact with our organisation. So we adapted the way that we worked. Everything went online. Everything went on the phones. Yes, it's not as effective, but people could still get advocacy. They could still get that support. And they could still, for our volunteers, get a sense of community. It was hard to begin with, not going to lie. You know, we had to massively, it was a challenge for every single person, because even though, you know, we're au fait with technology, it was just, we'd just never done it like this. It wasn't a necessity, you know, Zoom and stuff.
I would love to be in the Zoom boardroom after this year, where they're like, right, we're going to buy a yacht this year.
I know, right?
Must have made a shitload of money.
They must have done.
Money off of that.
I know, right?
They still are.
The world has changed now because of the, you know, everyone's used to this way of working. I was at a networking meeting earlier, and they was discussing about kind of hybrid approach. So we've got this hybrid way of working now. And I mean, I've always worked from home anyway, so it's not been a massive thing for us, a transition in that respect. But, you know, hybrid working. Now you try and get people back into the office. Now that's your next.
And but you know what? Especially like people with mental health and people with disabilities, who actually are still quite nervous to leave their homes. And I know many people that like that lock their office. It's like, no, you need to come in. And like, well, I can do a lot. I can do all my work at home. So why do I need to come in? But like, Audra, what's it been like for you in lockdown?
Actually, I have been the most productive I have ever been in my entire life. I was actually doing telehealth therapy before the pandemic. I always offered virtual services because I'm epileptic. I can't drive. I literally will never have a license again. So I would do on the computer stuff because, you know, it's just easier for me. So it didn't really change too much for me, except I worked from home a lot more. And then plus my son was here, but that was about it. And then just maintaining, you know, like you said, that personal connection with students is, you know, really tough because it's easier when you're there in person. So I would have to do a lot of training and coaching with parents on how to deliver those advocate services when I was not there in person. But other than that, it's been, at least for me, it's been going somewhat well. You know, parents are still able to access services from me.
It's not easy.
It's not, but then I don't think, you know, without all the virtual stuff, we would have never all been doing this, Benny.
No.
You know, and do you know what I mean? Like it's opened a lot of doors for us.
Yeah, let me talk. Look what we've achieved in that. Sorry, the wife is running.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
What
was that, Benny? What was that?
Yeah, let's move on because I forgot what I was talking about. Yeah, because we've achieved so much as a disabled little nation on Zoom. We've achieved all sorts. We've met Audra, we've met Dante, we've met there's so many. Yeah. And it's amazing. And with us, we've kept the Zoom meeting every fortnight going, which I forgot to let people know about this week. But anyway, so it's been amazing. Before we go, Audra, I've just got a quick one for you because you're a new comedian and you're an artist because you do Autistic. Over lockdown, have you had the right support and network over lockdown in friends, family, or have you suffered because of it?
Oh, I mean, I've definitely felt lonely. It's been really bad. I am one of those that when I attach to somebody, I attach pretty quick. And I have a few circle of people that I talk to quite often, but once I had that cut off, and I couldn't see those people anymore, it was pretty bad. Thankfully, I actually live with my parents, so we were able to quarantine together. But yeah, otherwise it was really tough to mentally keep going. And I actually relied on some of my colleagues like Serena. We would all chat together in a Zoom and just keep telling each other, hey, we're not about progress, we're just about maintaining right now.
Yeah.
Because I bet, Serena, your charity had to change from an advocacy. Did you notice you was doing a bit of counselling as well?
Interesting. I mean, when it's interesting you ask that, because when we first engage with an advocacy partner, that's what we kind of refer to our service users, if you like, advocacy partner. Sometimes we'll get people that'll go, "Ugh," and then we'll go, okay, that's great, thank you. So what do you want to do with that? Oh, actually, I feel all right that I've just said it to people. So I'll leave it for now and go, yeah, that's absolutely fine. If that's what you want to do. So, I can't say we're a counselling service because we're not.
No,
but I think, yeah.
People were offloading more than they would have normally.
Yeah, I mean, we got people that were just struggling, massively struggling with the situation, and we're struggling with the fact that this service is not open. I cannot access that. So this service is not, because, and they're all I had a lot of, and everyone's blaming COVID, but people still need to get on with their jobs, and to a certain extent, obviously, we couldn't agree with them, on the phone at the time, but we was like, I completely understand your frustrations, kind of thing, and kind of fed that back, because and I think, to be honest with you, people are still using it as an excuse, and I think not to go on, there's something, but we need to just get on now. In my opinion, we need to kind of just open things up and whatnot, and let people access stuff,
to a certain degree. Because I have a client who really needed services desperately, could not wear a mask, and was not advised to be vaccinated at the time, but I was the direct support person, and working, but yet the education system decided to drop this person. I mean, how awful is that, when I'm the one, the left, clean up the mess.
Before we get on to promoting stuff, we've just got to say hello to the main man, Jamie.
He's the one. He's the brains behind the game.
Oh, hey, Jamie.
He has been doing 500 miles or more without a voice on his scooter to raise money for a communication
matters. There's a charity who actually help make and produce and invest in AAC devices that help people like Jamie have a voice. So he's doing very well with that. So definitely check out. Have you got the link, Benny, somewhere?
I have.
Is this it without a voice?
We have done it without no hand.
There you go. Or the hand of your wifey over here. So let's not go into that.
No, because we're at the end of the show. And
okay, but definitely donate to Jamie's cause. It's very, very worthwhile.
Well, before we go, is there anything you guys would like to promote, or there's something in the pipelines you want people to know about, Audra?
Well, Laugh Able is on August 27th, so tune into that.
Yes. there it is.
That
Over
is my-
Zoom. It's a virtual night, so it doesn't matter where you go. You can come and tune in.
Yes.
In fact, Serena, I
Mhm.
will send you the ticket link. It's free for any of your volunteers who
Yeah.
would love to come and see it, or you can come and see me in real life in Nottingham.
Don't try to
I'm
steal my
joking,
audience,
I'm joking.
Benny.
I'm joking.
Audra, tell him. That's a comedy debut right there. That's all I'm saying.
No,
Um,
you've got
no.
to see Audra because she is doing it for the first time, so she's
Brilliant.
popping her cherry.
Oh.
Mhm.
Comedy cherry.
Comedy wise.
Comedy, yeah.
Make
Yeah,
that
Oh,
clear.
comedy. Yeah.
Also, Serena, if any of your service users want to give comedy a go, that's the night I run, the
Oh.
disability and mental health comedy
Yeah.
night. If they want to get in touch with me.
Oh my gosh.
laughablecomedy@gmail.com. If they ever want to give comedy a go, I offer that platform if they want to just have a go at it. So
I've got
Yeah.
a volunteer in mind who loves, those dad jokes and stuff. Is great. It's got such an uplifting spirit, and yeah, I've got someone in mind. Yeah,
we'll link up after. I'll get in
yeah,
touch.
definitely.
Benny, anything you want to promote?
Hang on, we haven't gone to Serena.
Yeah, and we haven't got anything in particular that we're promoting. Just about our work. I mean, if you want to check us out, I think you put the website link up earlier. So thank you very much. Services for Empowerment and Advocacy Nottingham. If you Google that, you can thank you so much. All the W's, cparticipation.org.uk. Have a look at what we do. You can donate there onto our website if you want to support our volunteers at university in particular. That's where those donations will mainly go to help us keep supporting our volunteers and the amazing work that they do at the universities. Honestly, it's so good.
I think we're gonna do quite a few podcasts with you in the future. So,
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe we get One Place East and
See on there, yeah. I'd love you'd love to meet the people from One Place East. We actually we did a choir today in the local park where we got service users and volunteers to sing, to belt out some numbers. There'll be videos on One Place East anyway.
I love it.
But One Place East have a very good creative kind of projects going on. But if you want any ideas, please talk to me. I can put you in touch with One Place East because that'd be something C could do, offer some creative projects for volunteers and service users.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Always looking for stuff for our volunteers to get involved in that doesn't solely involve, services and support,
It's just creative stuff.
Fun. Yeah, absolutely.
I do provide training to how to be a podcaster as well.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I wouldn't mind joining that, Benny.
And how to keep the wifey quiet.
Sorry, what happened? Oh, I accidentally. You should never have given me that power, Benny.
What am I doing tomorrow, Mark?
I don't know. Forgot. Don't really matter.
I really want to know.
Yeah, go on. You might as well.
I'm headlining this night.
Oh, very exciting.
Tickets are on Late Stage Comedy. I think they're £5 tickets online, or they're free for the real life thing. So come along to that. And Mark's doing the same, but he's not headlining.
I'm doing it on Friday, so if you want to check it out, if you're unavailable, if you're unavailable tomorrow, which most people are midweek, come along on Friday. Come along on Friday to support me.
Come on, the lady behind you is going, I wanted Benny. I wanted Benny.
Oh God, Jesus. I apologise for the husband for his disgusting behaviour this hour.
We're at Trip Fest over the weekend in Hull.
So if you want to venture to Hull, come and check out that festival.
Oh, you mean
Hull!
Before we go, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
It was a really good insight. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for coming. Don't go away. I'm just gonna do the credits and So bye from me, and next Tuesday will be our last podcast of the series. Don't forget, we are publishing a book. So you guys will be in the book. Hopefully. Yes, I need.
It's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's very exciting stuff.
Yes, so that will be out next year. So bye from me and bye from him. And
bye.
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 See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid that's all we have time for tonight from Benny and the gang. Please remember to subscribe and click on the bell for more notifications on the next instalment of Benny Shakes Things Up. If you want to support the podcast or you like the jingle from Leicester in Nottingham, please click on the links below. Adios, amigos.